So are you buying a house for $8,000, a Tesla home? I mean, that's what everyone seems to think is possible with Elon Musk, and it's a no-go. It is clickbait. I think that's the words they use, right? It is not real, totally fake, and not anything that you can do. So look, if you've seen the videos about a $7,500 to $15,000 Tesla tiny home, well, I have news. It's not real. It never went on sale. Let's debunk that in like 60 seconds. I think I did it in 2 seconds, really. Then I'll show you some actual tiny home options, real prices, and how to buy the land and what permits or hookups and costs in 25 so you don't get burned. Please don't get burned. This is Lori Alvarez coming to you with another episode of Real Estate with Soul. All the facts, none of the fluff, so let's get to it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First facts. In 2017, Tesla built a promotional trailer in Australia to showcase solar and Powerwall. It was a marketing demo, not a product you could order. No sales page, no model line, no deliveries, just a roadshow. Since then, rumors resurface every few months. 10K Tesla house, 2025 Tesla motorhome, etc. Credible fact checkers have looked. There's no evidence. Tesla announced or sells a tiny house or motorhome. These posts are all clickbait. I even saw them myself, commented on one, and let me tell you, I was ready to buy it. So I get it. You want to buy it? I would love to buy it. It looked amazing online. The things AI can do. So yes, Elon Musk has been linked to tiny homes in the headlines before Boxable, Samara, but that's about interest or personal housing chatter, not Tesla retailing tiny houses. Again, Tesla does not sell a tiny home. Just doesn't. Not going to happen. So let's get back into it. We previously talked about this. What is a tiny home? Tiny home. So in building codes, land, a tiny house generally means 400 square feet or less, excluding lofts, and that is covered by Appendix Q of the International Residential Code. That matters for permits and inspections. What real options are out there that you can buy? So option A is Park Model RV Certified Tiny Home. They're referenced as THOWS. On wheels, often a RVIA certified, easy to move, typically parked in RV tiny home communities or on private land where allowed. Then there's what's called an escape Traveler 1 or BOHO. BOHO? Published base prices often range before $52K to $98K, depending on the model. Options. Trailers are RVI labeled and sized for road limits. Tumbleweed, long-running builder, current models, RVIA green certified variants, examples like Farallon listed with specs, suggest total prices range around $90K for many builds. And then there's option B, modular factory built units on foundations. It's important that you understand that. These are on foundations. They're installed on a permanent foundation and permitted like a house. Often faster than site built. An example, Boxable Casita, about 361 square feet. a real company out there. I checked them out. Studio layout marketed via reservations and financing promos. Still subject to local approval, site work, and utility costs. Not included in that purchase price. You must understand it is not included on that purchase price. And then there's option C, site-built tiny homes foundation. So you've got to hire a local contractor. You have to pull permits using IRC Appendix Q. Average build costs vary by region, and recent national estimates cluster somewhere between 30 to 70K. They range for basic builds. 45K is the median overall before land and utilities. Remember, there's so much more to a home, okay? So, jumping into this, what does it really cost? So the recent comparables show if you were to do it yourself, a DIY, or a basic kit can start low, but realistically, finished tiny homes commonly land somewhere between 35 to 80K, right? And a luxury edition can exceed 100K. Builder averages around 45K, national midpoint, and wide range of location and then specs. Okay, the land. This is where it gets pricey. That varies wildly by county. You'll need land zone to allow you to either add an ADU, a small primary dwelling, a park model RV, or a modular install. If you're in California, state ADU law preempts a lot of local blockers and sets deadlines for ministerial approval. Man, there are some serious words in this story. So continuing on, handbooks and 2025 updates are public. So land is going to cost, like, just to make that super simple, land could be as cheap as $3,000, $5,000, $2,000. I mean, you could buy land from someone for pennies, but you need to know the usage of the land. This is what's most important. You need to understand the usage. You need to know, is it zoned for me to put this product there? Just because it's land doesn't mean you can put your product there. Okay? That's what you need to do. So check with the county or the city that is regulating that land. You don't even know if you can build on the land, so make sure you can. So jumping into that, right? Before you buy anything with that buy now button, run down this checklist. Zoning and use. Does your parcel allow for tiny homes as a primary dwelling, an ADU, or only a recreational vehicle? Appendix Q applies to foundation tiny homes, wheeled units, or are usually treated as RVs. Permits. You need to take out permits, right? For any ADU, especially in California, look for the ministerial approval timelines, relaxed parking rules, and height size minimums near transit under 2025 updates. And then utilities. Confirm costs for electricity, water, well, connection fees, sewer, septic, and broadband, and budget between $9,000 to $34,000 for full utility setup of raw land in many cases. Many cities and states are requiring solar to be hooked up too. So verify those details before you decide to move this forward. Foundation versus wheels. Foundation builds can appraise and insure more like houses, THOWS, right? Thous, I guess is how you would say it. Fit mobility, lower permitting, but may face parking limits. So you need to check with your local codes and community rules. Budget-wise, you got to think about the budget. So look, here's the scenario, right? RV certified tiny home in a community. The unit, for example, Escape Boho Base, 52 grand, 53 grand, right around there. Delivery and setup's going to be anywhere between 2 and 6 grand. And then the monthly pad rent for wherever you drop it, well, that's going to be local market. So where are you putting it? And then upgrades, solar, all of that's optional. So unknown numbers. So your takeaway here, fastest path, but it's fewer permitting headaches and a recurring lot rent. Whereas scenario B, where you're a foundation tiny home on raw land, right? That land is market dependent, just depends. We had a piece of land for sale over in Crestline for a very long time that was like 13 grand. And the owner says that you can build on it. So, hey, maybe that piece of property is still currently available for 13 grand and it's upslope. Good luck getting it upslope. 13 grand. So look, raw land, got to make sure it's buildable. So site work and utilities are going to range anywhere from 9K to 34,000. You may need septic or sewer, and that can range anywhere from 8,000 to, actually, I've seen sewer go as high, septic go as high as 20,000. So verify those numbers, right? And then build small code compliance. 45K midpoint, commonly 30 to 70K. So the takeaway on this part, more autonomy, more upfront logistics, and timeline, right? So look, how do we avoid scams? I was ready to pay 8 grand for that tiny home. He had some great options on that video, right? So you want to like ignore the ads. Do the due diligence, right? Use Tesla. People will use Tesla logos and can't link it to any official Tesla ordering page because it doesn't exist, okay? Fact checkers repeatedly rate these claims false. Be careful out there. In real estate, there is so much scamming, so much. I remember once I had a property up for rent, and that property, I had that property up for sale, and I had a young man who called me and he said, Lori, I would like to pick up the keys from you for the property. I just rented it. I said, sweetie, it's not available for rent. It's only for sale. He goes, no, the person told me to call you that you had the keys. I said, yes, you are correct. I am the listing agent and it's not for rent. It's only for sale. And he was like, I just gave $7,500 to that guy. I felt so bad. Scams are out there. Do not give anyone your money until you verify. If someone is promising you a turnkey house for under 10K, yeah, it's too good to be true. Including solar, batteries, and furniture, real-world tiny homes, and utilities, just don't pencil at those numbers, at least here where I am in California in 2025, right? Just not going to happen. So the roadmap here for you is to, 1, choose your format. RV certified on wheels, modular factory built on foundation, or site built under Appendix Q, right? Then 2, call planning and zoning for parcels you like. Ask specifically what's allowed and what permits are required. And know that if you hire a realtor, like I am, We can't verify that information for you. Yes, we support you in it. Yes, we help you get the information. We send you in the right direction. And we will do our due diligence. You must also do your due diligence. Also, request written quotes for power, water, septic, driveway, earthquake. Use the ranges today as a sanity check. And price the home, right? Our options again, escape, tumbleweed, boxable. There's so many options out there. Validate the company. With those options, you actually need to be aware the base price marketing that excludes delivery and hookups. Okay? It's like buying the model home or buying new construction. The basics are the basics. You want all the extras, cost you a lot more money. So figure out the final bottom line before you make the decision. And then talking about the money, financing and insurance. Lenders and insurers treat RVs, modular and site-built differently. So you need to figure out if you have the right loan product. So get that pre-approval early. And then schedule for inspections, foundation builds, and keep the documentation for appraisal and resale. So hear it again, the truth, right? Tesla tiny homes are still clickbait in 2025. But your tiny living plan can be real if you follow code, budget for utilities, and pick a format that's legal on your land. I've linked some great resources and a checklist below. Drop your questions and your comments and tell me where you're planning to build. Where would you go? I think I keep telling you guys, the beach. I don't think anyone's letting me build a tiny home on the beach, though.